Alright, so here we are again. We're literally just running out the door. We've got a few things to do today, and we wanted to give you a chat about masculine and feminine energy and why it's so important to have in a relationship. And why it's so important to have balanced masculine and feminine energy in yourself. Give them a roar, Tatjana. Oh my god, Tatjana's just cleaned the car so nicely. It is beautiful. Look at our feet. Everyone, our car was an absolute mess beforehand. This superstar just here, she's amazing. If you're new to the channel, my name's Otis. This is the beautiful Tatjana, the absolutely gorgeous, stunning, most beautiful lady in the world. She's just amazing. And yeah, we've started this YouTube channel, Light of Mine, so we can give you the best year yet. The best year you've had so far. Yeah, boom, by giving you tips and tricks and positive vibrations, lots of great energy. Have a look at the world. We're just driving down through, driving down through the woods. So if you haven't worked out by now, we're all a balance of masculine and feminine energy. Don't actually have much to do with men and women. You know, we've all, both men and women have both got a balance of masculine and feminine energy, and they hold different traits within themselves, right? Yeah. So we thought we'd give you a bit of an insight to our understanding what we know about masculine and feminine energy. When these energies aren't in balance, and different things play out in our lives from having an imbalance. So for instance, the masculine energy is like a dominant energy, where a feminine energy is a submissive energy. So there might be something playing out in someone's life where there's dominance or submission, and this, there's a time where we have to be both submissive and dominant. So there's times where we have to orchestrate which way lives are going and which way things are going, and there's other times where we have to be submissive and learn to go with the flow, learn to let go of the banks of the shore that we're holding on, and let the river take us along and take us down on the journey that's already been that's already planned for us. Wow, this sky is so full of energy. So like most things, it's in our childhood that we build up most of our different attitudes towards these energies and how they play out within our lives. So for instance, if we're being, if we have a dominant father that controls a lot of things, then we're going to come out with an unbalance of masculine energy, and we could go one of either ways. We could turn into someone like our father who tries to control everything and have things in a certain way, or we could turn in the other way where where we're more submissive and we make ourselves smaller.
Look at the sheep.
Look at the sheep. Wow. There's a whole hill of sheep. Or we could even have had a mother that was very dominant, or a mother type figure that was very dominant as well, and wore the trousers in the house, and maybe they were always on your case about doing this and that right, and keeping your room tidy. Or so what have we got to get done today, Baba?
So we have to do some shoppings. My cousin's wedding is tomorrow, so I have to prepare some snacks. Then we have an interview at 5.
If you haven't heard of Tinku Talks before, her Instagram is TinkuTOfficial, and we'll be being interviewed there in about 1.5 hours. So we've got a little bit of stuff to do.
Yes.
And look, that's the masculine energy that's like, okay, we've got stuff to do. It's the focus, like masculine energy has focus on one thing. It singulars things down that need to be done, whereas the feminine energy, it's more open and creative and fluid, and the feminine energy feels everything, you know. It's got to feel right, where the masculine energy is just like, do it, let's get it done. Within the first 7 years of our lives, we're going to gain most of our understanding of what is right and not right, and you know, what's acceptable and not acceptable based on our social standards, based on our family standards, based on, you know, all those influences within our environment. So we might have got teased at school for crying, or like, you know, playing with dolls. Maybe we got, you know, maybe you're a boy playing with dolls and you got teased being a girl. Or maybe on the other hand, you got teased as a girl for playing with trucks and playing with diggers and things like that. And, you know, if we don't, until we've actually processed this stuff, we're carrying so much baggage in our subconscious that we don't actually process, and you know, and until it comes to the surface, it's going to be acting out in our lives through ways that we perhaps don't understand, because we're not aware of them and we're not aware of what's going on, and there's these energies that are impacting and controlling our lives, and we can gain control back over them. And it's so important to be able to have healthy relationships, to be able to get the best out of your life, is to have your different energies in balance, to have your subconscious, what's going on in your subconscious, rather than it just playing out through your life. You can balance it back out. So you need to learn to be present in the moment, to breathe. I went to a Vipassana meditation. So I'll start off again. When I was 18, on my 18th birthday, I jumped out of an aeroplane. On my 19th birthday, jumped out of an aeroplane. On my 20th birthday, I was in a 10-day silent Vipassana meditation retreat. So I was doing 9.5 hours a day of meditation and observing my breath, observing the sensations within myself, observing what was happening in the here and the now. And what that does is it helps us release release all this unprocessed emotion, all this unprocessed baggage that we're holding on to, that's controlling our lives, it's impacting upon our lives. So this was many moons ago. So what can we do to help balance the masculine and feminine energy within ourselves? That's a really good question, Otis. What can we do to balance the energies within ourselves? If we're going to balance the feminine energy, it's creative energy. So doing things that we can express our creativity without being so structured and rigid. We can do things with fluidity and feeling, and exactly, just like that. And so what things can we do to balance out our masculine energy? We can do things that are really focused. We can learn to take ownership of a situation. We can learn to take responsibility of where a situation is going, what's happening with a project. We can strip off our clothes and we can run through the forest in the rain, in the dark. It's just an alarm going off. Yeah, so, generally speaking, men have more masculine energy, and generally speaking, women have more feminine energy. But there are some men that have more feminine energy, and there are some women that have more masculine energy. And we think that this is, it's important within this lifetime. I mean, like Dr. Seuss said, we have to step with great care and great tact and remember that life is a great balancing act. Life is probably one of the greatest, it is a great balancing act. Our whole life we always have to balance out, everything, whether to do something, whether to not do something, whether to eat sweet, whether to eat savory, whether to put the white shoes on or the black shoes on, which, we have to balance of action and inaction. We've got this one side of us, our sympathetic nervous system, that's doing stuff, and the parasympathetic that's trying to bring it back into balance. We've got the two sides of our heart, we've got the two sides of our brain, there's always two sides in everything. In life, there's good and there's evil. There's, pleasure and there's pain. We always have to find a balance within these opposite energies, within there's a dichotomy within everything in life. There are these opposites, these opposing forces, these opposing energies, and one of our life's purpose is to bring these energies back into balance so that we can live our best life, so that we can live a life that is fulfilled, where we're expressing all of our characteristics, where we're able to express ourselves and have deep, meaningful relationships, be able to attract what it is that we want within our lives. You want some sanitizer?
Yes.
Woohoo!
Good.
Life is happening for you. Life is not what happens to you, it is what you make from what happens to you. It's what you make from what is happening in the life. We should always push to grow. We should always be improving and growing ourselves, because if we're not growing, we're dying. And growth is so important, having a feeling of growth, like we're achieving things, like we're getting somewhere. That's why it's so important to bring your masculine and feminine energy back into balance, so that you can live the best life that you can, so that you can gain those quality relationships, so that you can live an abundant life, and so that you can share these experiences with everybody. It's such an important thing to do, where we might just be put here once on this planet, so we have to make the most of this life. Thanks so much for tuning into this video. If you've got like a tiny little bit of anything out of this, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends, share it with your family, share it with your dog, share it with your neighbor's dog. Yeah, have a great weekend, guys. Love to see you all here. Beautiful.